Brought to you by Aspen Avionics, a new way to look at avionics, and by Aviation Insurance Resources, where our agents are pilots. And by the Bose A320 Aviation Headset, their most advanced pilot headset ever. And by 4Flight, makers of intelligent apps for pilots.
Hi, I'm Mary Grady reporting for AvWeb from AirVenture 2012. We're at the Vans exhibit. Vans produces probably the most popular line of home builts in the world. This is their RV-14, which is a really popular sport aerobatic touring aircraft, but it's pretty tight inside. So Vans designed a new model, the RV-14, very similar to this in performance, but with a lot more room. Here's Gus Funnell from Vans to tell us all about it.
Well, this is the RV-14, which is Van's latest model. It's been in development for about 5 or 6 years now, and we've just released it. We don't intend to have full kits available for probably almost another year, but we should be able to sell wing kits within the next couple of months for it. It's a larger plane than the RV-7A, and that's what it most resembles out of the Vans line. We've been encouraged, if you like, to make the cockpit a little bit larger, provide more baggage room, and effectively to keep the same performance as what you would have with, say, 180 horsepower RV-7A, but with a substantially larger airplane. This is about 250 more pounds gross weight than you can get in an RV-7 2050 rather than 1800. And it's, as you can see, it's a more open-looking cockpit where you've got space between the seats, quite similar to the RV-10. We intend this plane to really fill the gap between the RV-7 and the RV-10. So it's a kind of cruising type plane, although unlike the RV-10, it'll also be aerobatic. We've stressed the wing for +6 and -3 Gs like the RV-7. So the guy who mostly flies cross country but also might like to do the occasional loop and roll is going to be able to do that in this airplane. But he's also going to be able to take along a lot of stuff. We've got a very capacious baggage compartment, 100 pounds of baggage, and 2 large seats where a couple of really quite big adults can sit in there for a long time, which is good because we've got about 50 gallons of gas in the airplane, which will give it a range of, at slightly less than 75% power, you'd be looking at about 1,000 nautical miles or so, something like that. So that's really where we see it fitting into the Vans marketplace, if you like, is for guys who would really like a 7 in some ways, but they'd like a bit more touring capability, if you like, rather than the emphasis towards sport aerobatics, which is maybe where the 7 comes. And they don't want to really go for a full 4-seat plane like you would have with the RV-10, but just need something a little larger for 2 people so they can really get a lot of stuff in it.
Brought to you by Aspen Avionics, a new way to look at avionics, and by Aviation Insurance Resources, where our agents are pilots. And by the Bose A320 Aviation Headset, their most advanced pilot headset ever. And by 4Flight, makers of intelligent apps for pilots.